Beavers! Beavers are busy. They're busy living their best lives, chopping, gathering, lugging, pumping, farming, building, all doing their dream jobs. Well, maybe not all of them. Unlike these beavers, your dream job is unlikely to be assigned to you automatically by a game algorithm. Not yet anyway. You will need to convince your future employers that not only are you able to do your dream job, but that you are the best person to do it. With the help of these lovely foxtails beavers from the game Timberborn, I'm going to show you the S.T.A.R. or S.T.A.R. model that will allow your skills to shine in applications and interviews. S.T.A.R. Shine. That's cheesy, wasn't it? Typically, a recruitment process will involve an application and an interview. You may be asked to do some other tasks. For example, for academic roles, they might require you to do a research presentation or give an example of your teaching. For both the application and the interview, the recruiters want to see that you have the required skills, and these will often be laid out in the job advert and the person specification. These can be split between essential and desired criteria, and at the minimum you need to convince them that you meet the essential criteria. And just saying you meet them isn't enough. You need to demonstrate it clearly to them and evidence it. And this is where the S.T.A.R. system can be useful for organising your answers by going through the 4 steps. S is situation. What was the situation you or your organisation found itself in? T is task, the specific role that you played in that situation. A is approach, and this is how you went about performing that task. They want to know not just what you did, but how you planned it. They want to know how you think and how you go about solving problems. And finally, R is result. What was the outcome of your approach? How did it help contribute to solving the initial situation? The key word for all of this is you. We all work in teams, and it's natural to want to acknowledge the contributions of our colleagues. But in an interview, the recruiters want to know about you and what you did and what you contributed. So give them what they want. I did this, not we did this. So let's imagine you were given a criteria like identifies and solves problems. Or maybe it's framed in a question like, tell us about a time you identified and solved a problem. Now, I wouldn't normally advise using examples from your gaming, but for the purposes of this video, let's head back to Timberborn. This is a city builder game where you build a colony of beavers on the remains of post-apocalyptic Earth. What I really love about it, as a geeky hydrologist, is that it has an integrated hydraulic model controlling the water in the game. So this is my situation. Before I start my answer, I'm going to go back and look at the question and the words that they used. Sometimes, especially when a lot of applications are expected, a pre-sift of the applications will just look for keywords. If you don't use them, you go in the bin. As my PhD supervisor used to tell me all the time, hit them over the head with it. Meaning make it blindingly obvious you meet this criteria by using their words. Rephrase the question to start your answer. So, situation. I identified that a new beaver colony was facing a problem because it was not ready to face a drought and needed leadership. You explained the situation, but you've also ticked off identifying a problem. Next, we'll look at the task. My task was to solve this problem by preparing the beaver colony to survive and flourish during the coming drought. Great! Now they know what you needed to do and you've set up solving the problem. Next, the key part is the approach. How did I go about solving this problem? So first I established what the beaver's basic needs are, the things that are going to keep them alive. This is avoiding hunger, avoiding thirst, and having somewhere to sleep. These will be my priorities. There were lots of things that make the beavers happier, but I decided to focus on those basic needs. I find a food source and I build a gathering post to allow the beavers to gather berries. Next, I build a water pump to collect water for the beavers to drink, placing it next to the river. I instruct them to build some houses so they have shelter to sleep in. So I'm beginning to get those basic needs sorted for now, and I also want to try and increase the resilience of the colony. So building things like that water pump and those houses requires wood as a raw material. So I place some lumberjack posts to allow the beavers to gather new logs by doing what beavers do best. Skipping ahead, I have the beavers build storage, a warehouse for berries and tanks for water. This means if things dry up during the drought, there is a stock of things to get the beavers through. I noticed that I'm running out of trees to cut down, so I need a forester to replant lost trees and make the resource collection sustainable. This is a process that requires planks cut from the logs and science points to unlock the forester. By the time the first drought came about, I had a good supply of food and water. I was also planting trees to create a sustainable supply of wood, and I'm beginning to diversify my food sources by farming carrots. So let's summarise my approach. I looked at the needs of the beavers and I prioritised those basic needs to keep the beavers alive: food, water and shelter. Once I had established these, I created storage of food and water to increase the resilience during the drought. I then focused on creating a sustainable source of logs to make sure my colony could continue to build, and also diversifying my food sources. I wanted to not only survive the drought, but be in a position to flourish afterwards. And finally, the result. The beaver colony successfully survived its first drought without losing any beavers and was able to expand. So there we go, we have our example expressed using S.T.A.R. S.T.A.R. For bonus points we could add an L on the end. What did we learn? Here I would say, I learned that it's important to meet all of the needs of the beavers, not just their basic needs, as this allows them to work faster and the colony to run more efficiently. So just to summarise then, you use the S.T.A.R. system to structure and evidence your examples in job applications and interviews. We have S for situation, T for task, A for approach, R for result, and for that bonus, L for learning. If you've got any tips for interviews, please put them in the comments below for others to read. And please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. But for now, stay dry out there. Unless you're a beaver, and then stay hydrated.